Hello everyone, this is Foxcat, and welcome to a very interesting video. Now, admittedly, I don't have anything else to do for this video. For the video for today, I even planned to do a Pokey movie, but I decided, I'll hold on to it. Plus, also, I do need a quick video today and tomorrow, because today or tomorrow I'll have to go grocery shopping. But today I decided for my first quick video, I instead decided to do a video that I tried to do a long time ago but couldn't get to. And that is, of course, teaching you all how to summon, to do special summons in Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, before I start, if you want a very better video to understand all this, I'll link two videos from GTS or whatever his channel is. I recommend checking him out, as he does a great job at explaining Yu-Gi-Oh's origins of the archetypes, and actually he did two videos that are really great on that subject. And he's a really good channel. He's a real good guy, and I recommend his channel because it's really good. But anyways, more importantly, I want to do this video to, of course, combine a little bit of the recent new one. Also note, I won't be talking about the other new one, as I'll be talking about the main game, not the recent new one that Konami has released with Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. Instead, this will be just the main, so far, all the main summons we all know, which are Ritual Summons, Fugen Summon, Synchro Summon, Zexo Summon, or XYZ Summon, however you pronounce it. I know it's Zexo, but I jokingly call it XYZ Summon, Pendulum Summon, and of course, Link Summon. So let's do this. Alright, I'm getting settled in, but the first thing we'll learn is Ritual Summon, and it's actually very interesting. Alright, so first thing, like I said, sorry my deck is had to literally pull out every single deck because apparently it wasn't cooperating or something. But the first thing we'll be learning about, like I said, is Ritual Summon. And Ritual Summon is kind of an interesting one. So here's what a Ritual card looks like. It has mainly a blue border, and it says Ritual. Now, the way to summon a Ritual is very interesting. Pretty much, in most cases, it involves a card known as a ritual card, or a spell card with the ritual symbol with the flame right there. Hold on, let me try to get this thing zoomed in. Not doing a good job. Zooming in closely. You'll see it. It's pretty much simple. Yeah, there it is. And pretty much the way you ritual summon is you just follow the spell card thing and do the ritual with that. Pretty much you need to tribute at least 8 monsters in this scenario because of its level, or at least any monster that's add up to 8. It has to match up the level. Now, the interesting part about this is, unlike most of the other extra summonings, except for another one, but we'll get into that in a bit, this one is in your deck, not in the extra deck. So pretty much it's a little bit interesting. So the way it works is simple. First off, you gotta build up the combo, of course, and pretty much we'll just use this one because, just for kicks and all that, because it adds up to 8. But you have to have 8 monsters that are that, and then you pull out the ritual card right here, put them in the graveyard, and there, you have at least that monster. Now, I don't know if it goes into the extra area or not, but since Yu-Gi-Oh! Has changed that rule, it can go anywhere because they changed that rule in a bit. But either way, that's how you, of course, ritual summon. Next up is Fugen Summon, and Fugen Summon is like a ritual summon, but it is definitely a little bit different. The only difference is this thing will be in your extra deck, and plus also you don't actually need a ritual card. You need the old classic polymerization, which I finally got for my Synchro deck, or whatever deck I'm going to use for my Fugen Summon. I don't know. And I'll explain that in a bit why I don't know, because I'll explain that in a bit. But, of course, polymerization is just used for summoning any fusion monster. Now, of course, also different from Ritual Summon, you need the exact monsters to do this fusion. Now, of course, this one is a little bit easy, as it just said 2 cyber monsters, but there's other scenarios that have cards like fusion things, and let me just show you an example. For example, Moki Moki King requires 3 Moki Mokis to summon, and this guy, which, yeah, I know, I got the Time Wizard tomorrow, needs the Time Wizard and 1 effect monster. So it's not always the same with that thing. And yeah, it also goes with the Time Magic Hammer. Yeah, I got those 2 off the clock. That's surprising. But still, pretty much it's like that, and there's many different things. However, as of lately, there have been new fusion cards for Pacific fusions. One big example is the Fusion of Fire, which uses the Sound Great archetype. And there's others, like there's also one called the Agent Gear Fusion that uses gears, the Agent Gears thing. So just FYI, but still, you obviously can still use polymerization. It's just this one is more exact towards it. My advice is, if you are going to use fusion monsters, I recommend you just try to do your hardest to find this monster. Well, this magic card quickly, so it'd be much more easier to fusion summon. Now let me show you an example. So pretty much, we have 2 monsters that can be fused with either both, being, Sama Great Coyote and Sama Great Falco. And both are Cyberts monsters, so they can either fuse with the Chimera or enter both Sama Great, meaning they can fusion summon with Volte Chimera. Man, I got both Chimeras, I just noticed that actually. Anyways, the trick is you summon from polymerization, fuse them together, they go once again into the graveyard, and of course we got that, and it does go up to the extra deck zone. But of course, now you can just put them on there without Link Summon. I'll get into that in a bit. And of course, if you use Fusion Fire, you can use Violet Chimera. That's pretty much it, and once again, these goes to the graveyard. Next up is Synchro Summon, which is this card, the Angel of Czar. Sorry, I almost said Angel of Czar, my bad. But anyways, we got Synchro's thing. And just like the previous 2, this one also has a different color border. And this border is white. And I forgot to mention the Fusion has purple, by the way. But anyways, that doesn't matter. Anyways, Synchro Summon is actually a little bit, probably a little bit easier, but it's also a little bit tough to summon. And that is because you gotta do a lot of math in order to do this. So pretty much the way a Synchro Summon is pretty much with one major thing, a tuner monster, no matter what it is. And P.S., yes, that also means there's other different types of recipes, but I'm going to use Angel of Czar just to make it easy. Now, a tuner monster is a effect monster, or just a normal monster, but with the ability to tune up your, Synchro monster, pretty much to summon it with levels. And I do mean levels, as you have to add up to the number right here. In this scenario, I'm going to need 8 monsters, and that addition also goes with the tuner as well, which makes this a little bit tricky, I'll say. Okay, so let's just use this as an example, and I'm not going to do the whole how-to, because we pretty much know the basic. Those also be in an extra deck, and this is technically how it works. So, pretty much I require at least level 8 stack, being, of course, just 1 tutor and non-tutor, because this one's easy. And pretty much, 1 plus 5 plus 3 is, wait, 3, yeah, is 8. No, it's actually 9, hold on. Okay, change your plans, this is how it's supposed to go. Do not do what I just did, which I just added up to 9, which proves my point how difficult this thing is to summon. Anyways, 3 plus 4 plus 1 equals 8, whatever. Anyways, you get the whole thing, blah blah blah, send it to the graveyard, and then you summon it also in the main deck, or, over here if the extra zone is full or something. And of course, that's how you summon Synchro. Again, as stated, a more better explanation video will be down below, just FYI. Anyways, let's go on to the next one. Alright, next up we got my favorite out of all the summons. And it's pretty much also the easiest one, being, of course, Zexal, aka XYZ Summon. Though it's pronounced Zexal, although I don't know why they, I don't care. Anyways, pretty much it's super easy and not very complex due to how it works. So pretty much the way it works is you gotta match up the stars, which this one is rank, not levels. Even though people think it's 0, apparently. Even the anime told it is not 0 for some fucking reason. Anyways, to match up the ranks, you just gotta follow the ruling. Here, Evil Swarm is needed at least 2 monsters, aka with level 4. And of course we got these right here. However, there is an interesting difference. Before I do that, I'll also show you that also I brought these out because just like obviously the other previous monsters, again, this one also has, of course, the same scenario where you need 4 level 4 knife for light monsters. Now, the thing about this, however, and what makes it super easy and kind of interesting is there is a reason why. Because unlike most of the other summonings, this one actually requires you to keep the monsters, but instead of going to the graveyard, you just stack them up like nobody's business, like this, and then plop it like that. Well, you plop it over here, but, at this point, we don't care. But yeah, you just plop it on there. And the reason why is, the way how Zexal work is you have to remove those cards. They'll be called Zexal material, and once you remove one Zexal, or overlay unit, if you remember that, it will work its effect. This actually is important to make sure you always keep an eye on that, because if you don't have any Zexal material, you will not be able to use your effect. So keep an eye on that. But other than that, that's pretty much how you summon it. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Next up, we have monsters that can actually be just normal summon in general on the field. But the reason why they're so important because they also do another summoning that isn't technically really that special, but it actually is interesting. And also that made the game so broken that after this one, our next one, try to fix it. That is being FYI, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, that is the Ritual Summon. Now, ritual cards, not ritual, I meant Pendulum Summon, I'm going to butcher the crap out of his name. Pendulum Summon is pretty much easy. Now, originally there were zones known as the Pendulum Zones for these cards, but now you just have to put them right here on the ends of your spell areas. That's because, they're also both spell cards for some reason. I don't know. I haven't watched Art Class, so I don't know how they explained this like the other ones. But anyways, the way how it works is, let's say that you needed to boost up your summonings in a pinch. Well, this is where these two come into play. You see these arrows? These are the scale you use to summon the monster. Note that do not use 8 or 2 or any other number that points to it, because that's just the filter of what number. So in this case, I can only summon monsters with the level up to 3 to 7, not 8 or 2, because, you gotta summon between them. The way they work is like this. You put these two right here, which, yeah, it definitely is now more strategized because you still gotta focus on it. And let's say I wanted to summon these two siblings. Simple. Both of them are level 4, and I just wanted to summon the crap out of them. They're super easy to do because apparently they're both level 4. Now, I know I'm definitely going ahead and cutting some corners here because, yes, there are even special things about them that gives you more abilities, but I'm not going to go ahead and explain all that crap because their abilities are much more tougher here. But yes, there are going to be some that even give you abilities with that Pendulum Summon, like a spell card, hence, all that. Though it does depend on the effects of how it works. By the way, yeah, it's pretty much just a boost to help you summon much more faster with the other cards like Zexo and Synchro. But of course, that's how it works. Now we have the final one, and one that many people hated. For me, I kind of loved it a little bit, but I would have blamed them hating it, which is none other than Link Summon. Okay, so Link Summon is definitely weird in a grand sense of trying to balance the freaking Pendulum Summon. This is because when they were introduced, you may notice these things. These were introduced mostly for them, so that way to limit summoning, you can literally just point at the arrows and spread out your extra summoning area. Even though later on Konami realized they fucked up with that, so they changed it back to just normal. So anyways, the way they do it is pretty easy. Just like the previous ones, they have different structures, but of course, they're mainly kind of similar to like Zexo Summon. Thus the only difference is, once again, you don't stack them up. You gotta send them to the graveyard. But luckily, they're much more easier to summon since you don't need a tuner or something. Though you do need to follow the instructions of this, including this one, which is a Link 4 that, got a lot of things. And by the way, speaking about that, the arrows you see, those tell you how much you need to summon in order to do so. Now, I don't think that is plausible because it just said 2+ up in some cases, but I think you just gotta follow the Link summoning in general. To demonstrate how this works, I'm going to show you in a way of also how a link chain works. So pretty much also PS, I'm not going to summon every freaking card I have because that would be taking too long. But pretty much it's like this. So I have 3 Cyberse monsters. This rank is level 3. Sacrifice all of them, blah blah blah. Summon this guy in the link zone. And pretty much you just point to the arrows that has that thing. Unless, you don't want to do that and just use the new rule that Konami had to build. Because we all know that ruling sucks. Now, of course, you do the same thing, also send in the graveyard, for, following the rules of these guys. Which is pretty much, kind of right now, kind of the same with these guys. But pretty much, Cyberse monsters. Okay, I got a Cyberse monster, I'll just put it to here. Effect monster, just put it to there. This guy, just put it in there. And I realize I fucked this up because I can't put this one in here. Oh well, that's still the point. Because, that just shows. And you notice that I follow the arrows when doing so. That's how it works. And it actually is important because the arrows also play a role with their effects. And yes, I have literally even technically all the eco talkers, just to have the green one, whatever, that's not the point. Point is that pretty much that's how Link Summon works, and you always have to follow their instructions. Just one final note, the Link Summons also go up to 4, with this is 1, 2, and 3, and I pretty much literally just lost my fucking 4. I don't even know where the fuck it is, but, let me see if I can find it real quick to show you. There we go. Apparently I just did a magic trick on myself for some fucking reason. But yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, shut the door, whatever. And yeah, that's how you literally Link Summon, and technically all the other summonings. Again, I know that was super sloppy, but I still want to do this video just for fun. And again, I'll send you to a better person who does a great job, better explaining the whole scenario and all that of how the stuff works. But pretty much, yeah, that's literally how all the Yu-Gi-Oh! Summonings work. Again, I sat on this video for a long time. Actually, I even was gonna release this during my earlier days of YouTube, but I said, you know what, drop it because I had this more bigger plan. But you know, that was during the time where I was using a different app. But that's not the point. The point is, I finally did it. Finally got a quick video done for you guys. I hope you like it. Sorry again for it being a little bit sloppy and all that, but it's the best I could do to show you because, you know, these Synchro Summon, Link Summon, all that stuff is a little bit tough. But, you know, I just want to do it to, you know, flex out my knowledge of Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Anyways, this is Floxcat, snapping out of here. And again, if you want a more better explanation of all that junk I show you, go in the links below. I guarantee you won't regret it. Anyways, snapping out of here. Bye-bye.